I guess Eric's not going to join us. He's making rhubarb or something, whatever it
Yeah,
was.
he's been doing some rhubarb pie tonight or something. Um, some blackberry jam or something he's making. I don't know. He
Well,
might join
who
us.
knows? Who knows?
I was just checking out this playmat he's working on, which is really legit though.
Oh, is he like drawing a playmat?
Oh well, sort of. So if you use the new Photoshop,
Oh,
you can create an AI image, but you tell it to use a reference image.
okay.
So you grab you just save like time walk or whatever, and then you put it in there, and then you tell the AI like, hey, I want this time walk guy to be in here. And check out the ass on Daryl. That is beautiful, man.
I was trying to figure out like where'd that rump come from?
Like, why are you so excited all of a sudden? Yeah. So this is not dumb, but this thing's awesome, man. Yeah, it's just, I mean, I don't know how he's doing it. I mean, there's staring at, there's the evil eye looking around the
Yeah,
corner from um, the Evan Stronghold. This thing's badass. So,
I like I don't know what the dude with the spear is doing, but he looks like he's a goalie or something. He's like,
guy up here.
no, the dude
Oh, this
down
guy right here. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. He looks like he's defending a goal.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
All right. Well, hey, wanted to do a somewhat shorter than usual podcast, I think.
Yeah.
And keep the hype train alive, man. Everyone is pumped for the Jason creation from 2 years ago or whenever that was. I don't know, we've been talking about this for a long time, it feels like.
Yeah. Yeah.
We were going to do this for Magic 30, right? And then
yep.
that didn't happen.
It's yeah, it's taken a while. We've been talking about it for a while. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm like super excited for Thursday to see how it starts and turns out anyway. We'll see. It could be one of those things where you like hype yourself up about something and then like when you start doing it, you're like, oh man, this
Nah, I can't imagine it would. I can't imagine it's not going to be awesome.
yeah. So yeah, it's good. This podcast can be kind of like the precursor slash quick hype fest for this thing. If we can get it posted in the next day or two, so everybody can listen to
Yeah,
it.
I'll try to do it tonight before because I got stuff tomorrow and whatever.
Yeah.
So anyhow, yeah. So those that are listening, we're doing the Evan Hand Time Walking League. Apparently, it's called. So
I
this
like
was
it.
Eric made this little poster, which then turned into this playmat. So you went way deeper on it than I would have done. I'll be honest. You're this is your baby because we did this a couple years ago. I just grabbed a bunch of Alpha Through Alliances cards. We threw a stamp on them. I sort of randomized them by basically like throwing them in a stack and shuffling around and counting out 15 card packs, and we just made it work.
Yep.
You went next level and said, let's make revised starters, revised boosters. I'm like, all right, cool. There's like a program that does that. You're like, nah, program sucks. You got to watch legit people opening real packs.
Yeah.
You wrote down every freaking card they pulled out, made a spreadsheet, cross-referenced with your index of greatness, and then reconstructed. And what we got? 10 starters and 20 boosters right now is what the current count, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So kind of like what started it like so when we did that league, what was that? Was that like 2 years ago, 3 years ago? Whenever that was.
It was 21. Yeah, I saw something the other day. It was from 21.
So when we did that league, I absolutely loved that. I thought it was awesome. But the only thing that I felt it was really awesome in the beginning, but then after like I don't know, 3 or 4 get-togethers and doing the drafts and things like that, it felt like everybody's deck was already set at that point.
Yeah,
right?
and then you weren't getting much more except you're getting your seventh swords to plowshare,
Right,
and it's
right. And
yeah,
you kind of got into a situation like we were talking about before, where like I think it was Brandon or somebody was like, "Here, just take all of my cards and give me lightning bolts," right?
yeah.
And
I don't
like,
need these black cards. I just gave someone
yeah,
like 3 hypnotics and a couple, and I'm like, whoa, what?
yeah.
And
So
then,
everybody just kind of ended up with like these busted decks, which was cool, but I
but I
wanted to
didn't want to run
try.
it back the same way. Yeah, so
Yeah, yeah. So, I wanted to try to do something to kind of recreate, um, at least for me in my experience, what it was like starting Magic back in, you know, 1994. Um, because like when I started, when I was a kid, right? I was in middle school, I think, or maybe sixth grade. I don't know, but like Revised had just come out, and um you don't have a whole lot of money. You get like your $10 for mowing the grass every week or whatever, and you got to kind of make it work. And you've got you and your the group of friends that I had that played Magic in the neighborhood, and we're buying Revised packs, and you just got to kind of do the best you can with what you have. You're opening these packs. 50% of them are just lands. The other 50% of them are just you're pulling like thought laces, just the worst rares ever. And then when you got like a force of nature or something like that, you're like, holy shit. Right. And I feel like it was like that for a lot of people because if you look at like the prices early on, like back then, it wasn't the dual lands that was worth a bunch of it wasn't all these like you know, combo cards or cards that we would consider super powerful now, it was like Shivan Dragon was worth the most money, right? Out of Revised. Like things like Wrath of Gods and Will o' the Wisps were worth money because like they could block creatures. So I kind of feel like everybody was in the same boat when they started playing Magic because you want that big creature, you want that like crazy thing that'll go in your deck because you're pretty much just playing with a 5 color, maybe 4 color pile of bullshit because you don't have enough, islands to make a mono blue deck. Um, so I kind of wanted to recreate that feeling. Um, and so that's kind of what landed me on the well, let's just make revised packs and revised starters and distribute them out and try to keep the card pool super restricted and contained and then slowly introduce things but don't just introduce a playset of Jusums and time walks and moxes and all that. So it really is, the intention is for it to be kind of a slow build league where maybe some of us will be able to put together a halfway decent deck, but for a while we're just going to be playing with 4 or 5 color piles and doing the best we can.
yeah, and I think it's gonna be. I mean, it's. I like that. I haven't tainted it with alpha or like alliances and ice age cards and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it should be like really. I think you should make this a business. Is what I'm thinking. So I mean, how much would all the actual value of the pack is not that much,
No,
and
no.
then you could just I don't know, you need like 100 of these, and you just build that index and make 100 starters and so on eBay. I mean, 'cause this is people are coming out of the woodwork, dude. We got people that have like never played. Dude. Like one of Eric's friends, or I've known the guys like I'll watch people cracking old school packs on YouTube all the time. Like, oh God, I would love to get in on it. We're like, well, just come over. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, just show up and bring a beer, man. It's like it's fine.
Yeah. And it worked out pretty well. So, just for the people that's listening, right? So if anybody wants to try to do this, there's plenty of websites. There's like 3 or 4 websites that you can go on there and you can create a booster pack or a starter deck or whatever, right? And from what I saw, that's how I was originally going to do it, was just let the computer generate some packs and then we'll build the packs and that'll be it. But I quickly ran into an issue because those those programs are just taking, if you've got, let's say in a revised pack or in a revised starter deck, you're going to get 3 rares. You're going to get like 11 or 12 uncommons or something, and then 45 commons. And then 20 of those, 20 to 22 of those are going to be basic lands. Well, the computer, when you generate the pack, it doesn't realize that, lands are seeded in there. So you can generate a pack and your starter only has like 6 basics in it, and they're all like mountains, right? But if you watch enough of these YouTube videos and you watch enough of these pack openings, you realize that there's like a collation, there's a formula for how Wizards of the Coast had put these starter decks together, and you start realizing there's patterns there. If you look at my spreadsheet, you can see patterns where you'll see like one common and then the same common and then a swamp and then a mountain, and then you'll see, and then it'll kind of slightly shift to another like 5 cards that might not repeat itself in another starter deck, but then you'll see it someplace else in another starter deck. So there was some like thought behind it. They didn't just throw like 60 or 45 random commons and lands in there. There's some thought behind that madness. And the computer doesn't know that. So it can't really generate a real revised pack. So the only way that I could figure out how to generate a revised pack was one of 2 ways. Either you spend thousands of dollars on a box and end up losing your ass trying to open them, or you just watch YouTube videos. There's plenty of YouTube videos on there of revised pack openings, revised starter deck openings. There's a whole starter box that like Open Boosters had done where he opened them. And so yeah, you just open up your Excel spreadsheet on one tab or on one screen. You've got your YouTube video on the other screen, and most of the time, as they're flipping through the cards, you have to slow the video down to about like 0.75 speed. And as they're flipping over those cards, they say the names. So you're just sitting there just recording the names of the packs. And then luckily I had, where I buy collections and stuff like that, I have tons of revised bulk cards, that kind of thing. And so we were able to put everything together between all the bulk cards that I've got, some cards out of my personal collection, some cards out of Brian's personal collection, some of the stuff out of Brian's bulk. We were able to pull it all together. We had to proxy the duels, but we ain't giving away Volcanic Islands. So
Yeah, well, this is true. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, other than that, I guess that'd be the problem with actually making it a business. You would have to come up with some dual lands. They'll start screwing up the pricing. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so the way it's going to work, and we'll see how it goes, but it's going to be, everybody's going to get a starter. They've all been, I had them all numbered and laid out, but then I covered over the markers or the numbers with a Sharpie and then randomized them all and threw them in a box. So I have no idea what packs are which. So and just to keep it on the up and up, I'll be the last person to pick the pack. So everybody else can pick, and then I'll grab whatever's left over. And yeah, we'll open those things, try to build a 60 card deck out of it, and see what happens. It's going to be a whole lot of slow games with Scrib Sprites slowly wearing away at somebody over the course of 20 turns. But I think we've got some pretty cool things lined up to help people add on to those packs. I really like what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about kind of your prize wall or whatever, I think that's a really cool idea.
Yeah, so it was basically a binder. I don't have it, but so it's like a 1 binder for your wins and 1 binder for your losses. So you can cash in wins or losses. I ordered 2 of these like hole punch things on Amazon. They'll be here tomorrow. One does stars and one does triangles or something like that, so we can keep track. But I think I have all those cards from like the bullshit drafts of all the stupid supermodels and I don't know, old presidents and
Right.
Whatever. So each person will take 2 cards. One will be your wins, one will be your losses. you track those every time you're done with a game. You just punch a hole, hey, win, win, win. And so then the pages will be like, hey, if you've got 5 wins, take your card out, take the card you want, slide it in there, has your name on it, and then at the end of the season, we can go through and pull everyone's pull all the Jason cards out, see who had the most wins for the season. It's kind of a way to keep track of things, and it might be kind of fun to
that's a good idea.
Doctor up what you're putting in there. I think that could be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Picking your stupid ass cards to represent yourself. That'll be a good time. And so, yeah, we got, and as you progressively get better, like that's something I'm not sure if it's the right number or not. But right now, 20 wins is a page full of Sarah Angel, Shivan Dragon, Force of Nature. But I mean, 20 wins, that's a lot. That's not easy. Yeah. And you got to commit. You're passing up all these other opportunities. Yeah. And Eric's already scouting like the 2 wins. Like, oh, this, I'm definitely cashed in 2 to take this bullshit guy. I'm like, well, okay, knock yourself out. And he's like, do I save up 15 to get a personal incarnation? Or so it's got all these decisions you got to make, which I think will be good.
Yeah, and that's the thing. What people aren't going to realize is how difficult it is, right? Because everybody's so used to just building a deck and having the perfect number of lands in it and having 4 of every card and things like that. Well, when you start off with a 5-color starter deck and you want to start adding things in there like let's say Nether Shadow, right? So that's a rare and it costs 2 black. You want to play that early on so that you can, get it in the graveyard and things can get on top of it and it can come back or whatever. But for one Nether Shadow isn't doing a whole lot. And for 2, 2 black might be kind of hard to come by early on in the game, right? So even things like Sarah Angels, Sarah Angel's great. Play it on turn 5, but there's going to be a lot of times where A, you've only got 1 of them in your deck, and B, you got to have 2 planes, and you might not even have 2 planes, right? So, plus we're playing for ante. So, when you're sitting there playing for ante and you lose a planes, and you're trying to play Sarah Angel in your deck, and you don't have backup planes to replace it with, that's a problem. So, it's going to be interesting to see how this shakes up. I think that playing for ante is going to cause it's going to cause the decks to shift around a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Because people are going to have, start off with 5 color piles, excuse me, if you're leaning towards, blue and then you win a Sarah Angel off somebody, it's probably not going to take much for you to start leaning towards, more towards white. So I think that'll be kind of interesting to see how that works. I wanted to run this by you. I don't know how logistically possible it is, but I was thinking another thing that we could do. We've got the prize wall, and that's really cool. But I was trying to think, like, what if everybody got an allowance every month? And it was like, okay, Brian, Mom's going to give you $10 to spend on Magic cards, right?
Well, you get people to show up, So just for showing up, you get
3
wins. You get 4 wins just for showing up. I mean, you could do something simple like that.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking, okay, it is, so it's May, whatever. So let's say end of June, you get your monthly allowance. Everybody gets $10. And revised packs cost $3 or $4 or whatever. Chronicles packs cost like $3. Fallen Empires packs cost $2. And everybody can kind of spend their allowance on whatever packs they want. And then I've got like a month or a couple weeks or whatever to generate those packs from YouTube videos and hand them out.
See, now you're going down this rabbit hole that I started. And again, I just don't care enough. But I was like, I should just make like all these next boosters, like put all the Legends cards in them and make Legends boosters or what, from Legends and Chronicles or
Mhm.
something. But what a pain in the ass that is, man. So I just started jamming. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Or I mean, you could just. Man, I feel like each get together, we're gonna either draft one or two packs. I don't want to get
Right.
too crazy. That's
Right.
kind of what you're
Right.
doing. I mean, that's kind of the allowance system. Like, hey, you showed up, you get a pack or two.
Right.
Um, maybe you get one to keep and one to draft. Then you're kind
Maybe.
of
Yeah.
that might not, because drafting you really start to pick your color you're in, or can really
Hmm.
hone in on a good draft. So I don't want to do a full on draft of everybody getting three packs, and then the rest of the season you're just tuning that draft deck. But
Right.
yeah, I think maybe for showing up you just get a pack, and if we can, I mean, it'd be cool if we could keep them all like, hey, this is a pack of the dark, or here's your Fallen Empires packs or whatever. I mean, some of those
Right.
are not that difficult to put together, I don't think.
Right. And I was mainly, thinking Revised Chronicles and Fallen Empires, just because I mean you went through these booster boxes. That's what or these bulk boxes that I've got.
Yeah, you got a
I've got
shitload of that stuff.
I've got all of that stuff. So, making something like a pack of legends without them just all being proxies, which is fine. But, who has a proxy Boris Devil Bloom? I mean, nobody, right? So you'd have to
Right,
just
right. Well, I went
sharpie
on
a bunch of
today. I mean,
stuff.
I am spending more money on this thing than I should. I keep going on there, and I went on today. I was on TCG, and I'm like, oh yeah, we need some juggernauts. I grabbed a few of those, and I'm like, well, let me just randomly click in the Chronicles section. And yeah, oh yeah, gotta get some of these, grab those, and
Hmm.
what about antiquities? Yeah, I dropped like another $65 pretty quick, just buying more bullshit to throw in there, and
Yeah. And
I
like
don't.
that's the thing. We can make like I think we can if we you know there's plenty of I have a bunch of I don't even know what this is. I think this is all I've got like a couple hundred Legends bulk. I've got probably 300 or 400 dark bulk. So or no, actually I've got thousands of dark bulk. What am I talking about?
Yeah, you got
Um
plenty of that, man.
but so like we got plenty of those common type cards that people would probably love to have in their deck to replace shit like Phantasmal Terrain or just whatever. Um, I think we can build some just random chaos packs. We just
So
got to be careful and not.
what's the trading policy? That's what Eric and I have been kicking this around. We
Hmm.
kind of felt it should be one card a night per player in the room. You can trade each person one card, one
Yeah,
for one. Because I
yeah,
don't want to get the trading out of control. I mean, how's something like that feel? Or
I like that. I was half joking, half not joking in the chat when I was saying, well, trade one for one or dollar for dollar. The trades have to be equal in value to Inquest Price Guide from back in the day.
this is what I'm looking at here, and this is
Yeah,
so insane.
it is. It's
Would
really
would you
crazy.
have would you have made this trade? These are alpha. I will give you uh 10 Wheel of Fortunes, 10 Alpha Wheel of Fortunes for a, what the hell was it? I was looking at like Force Field was like a huge, where the hell did Force
Yeah.
Field go? Yeah, like,
It's right there on top of the Shivan Dragon picture.
yeah. So yeah, would you trade one Alpha Force Field for 9 Alpha Wheel of Fortunes? Would you make that trade? I think I would.
Yeah. So go down to the
But look
revised
at freaking
prices.
Ancestral Recall, $70
Seven.
low.
Yeah.
A two-headed giant is $60. So like
Yeah.
a two-headed giant, like trade even up almost for freaking Ancestral Recall.
Hmm.
These are alphas. This is insane. What was he looking at?
So I was just gonna say, go to the if it's on here, go to the revised prices. So there's
Limited.
unlimited. Yeah, there we
There's
go.
revised. Okay.
There's revised, right? So like if somebody had a revised Shivan Dragon and we just said, okay, that's worth $20. Um Yeah, it's up there towards in the highlighted in yellow at the top.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's a $20 card.
So it's a $20 card, right? So if you really look, like what could be traded for a Shivan Dragon? So
Two
dual
Howling
land,
Mine.
yeah, a couple Howling Mons.
A fork.
Uh,
I don't know. That's almost a good. That's kind of cool. I don't know. Fork
yeah,
25 to Shiv and Dragon 20.
yeah. So like I feel like how much is Lightning Bolt in revised back 30 years ago?
Let's see.
Lightning Bolt, 50 cents.
50 cents for a bolt. I'll give you my Royal Assassin for 36 lightning bolts.
But I just feel like with the scarcity of the cards that'll be out there, yeah, we have to do something so that
This is funny. I like your trades can be one person has to one side of the trade has to be one card, and the trade has to be an equal value. How
yeah,
about that?
yeah,
So
something like
maybe
that.
no, maybe one person's trading a helm for $4, but they're getting two fire elementals in exchange.
Right. And that kind of also has that same feeling from, when I was in middle school. Once we found out that there was a price guide for these things, I mean, it would be like, hey, I need that Tundra. And we'd be like opening up the Inquest and okay, how much is that worth? Okay, that's $18. So
You want this farmstead for $8?
what
Trade it
the
even up with a Nev's disc. Good
what?
God, this is
Man,
awesome.
if Farmstead was worth $8, I'd be a millionaire. I wish.
Farmstead millionaire.
Yeah.
You're gonna finally learn how to time travel, and you just send all your farmsteads back in time to your young self.
So anyway, yeah, I think like something like that would keep
All right, yeah.
things.
So one trade per person. Like each person can trade with one other, the other individual. So it's 10 people. You can do 10 trades a night. Maximum is one card on one side, and it has to be of equal value to this old Inquest.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
like
I
it.
like that.
It's from
I
March
like
March '96. Isn't bad. It's pretty good feel for things.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, if we can find
I
an
was just say World of
Inquest from
Wisdom.
even
Yeah.
if we can find an even older Inquest that didn't have that was
Oh shit.
only from I'm trying to remember. I think I remember the first Inquest that I bought may have been pre fourth edition, pre Ice Age. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I think that something like that would work because we really do have to make sure that, like you said, nobody's just like, well, I don't like blue, so I'm going to trade somebody all of my blue cards for all of their red cards, right?
Yeah. It's a bullshit thing. Like I just throws the whole season off.
Yeah.
So
Yep. Throws everything
I
out.
love that we're gonna make it 60. Last time we did 40 cards, and those decks got way too good, way too fast. So I like 60 cards is gonna suck.
Yep.
60 card decks. But actually, that's what happened to me in the finals. I had such a good deck last time, and my opponent didn't realize we went from 40 to 60. He just ran us 40 card with 20 lightning bolt and incinerates, and I was like, oh my god, could not beat him. And he was done. He's like, wait a minute, what do you mean 60 card? I'm like, it's fine. But I wish he had been forced into those same parameters. So that'll solve that. We're good there.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we'll have to play it by ear, right? So it's just one of those things. So we tried this a couple years ago. It was successful. Everybody liked it, but the decks got way too powerful, way too fast. So this time we're going to do it, and we're going to try to slow down how fast the decks get. And I'm sure we're going to make some mistakes, and we're going to learn some things as we go through and say, oh well, maybe that wasn't a good idea to allow trading or to do whatever. Maybe we shouldn't draft packs. Who knows what we'll learn? But whatever we learn, we can take the good and dump the bad and try it again in a couple more years, right? Till we can
Yeah,
kind of turn
no,
this into something fun. I I really like I really like leagues where you have to struggle a little bit. Um, and what I mean by that is, I
Did you
like it
play
when,
the leagues back in the late 90s when that like they kept track of your score like by the state and all that stuff? And
yeah, well, no, I don't think I did that. I do remember we would do at the local shop, they had uh like sealed leagues where you would get like a starter deck and a couple booster packs of like Mirage, I think it was, or somewhere
it's
around there. And as you as you played, you got to add more booster packs to your collection, and then after the end of like 3 or 4 months, whatever it was, you had to try to bid you know, you would play a tournament or whatever.
yeah, so see, I won that shit.
Oh, the
Cricket
yeah, that
background.
yeah, the Arena
Yes.
League stuff.
Yeah, I was the third best in the state of Ohio for arena in the spring of 1999.
Holy
That
shit.
was that was my magic achievement. Yeah, I got that
Look
Vampire
at
tuner. I've
you.
kept it forever. It was the original.
Yeah, but I always liked things where what's it called? Uh I think I'm messing the saying up, but it's like, you know, restrictions breed creativity or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
So you kind of get restricted. You don't have access to everything. So you have to get kind of um creative with what kind of decks you can build and what you can do. I used to play Warhammer 40K, and one of my favorite ways to play Warhammer was these escalation leagues where you would start with a real small army, and then you would play, and depending on how well you did and how bad you did, you'd be able to add new little units. I did one time where we created a map, and each faction would kind of take over the map, and as they took over the map, you got to add things and get special bonuses. But then as you started like losing territory, you'd have to start like your army would get whittled down, and it just kind of makes things a little bit more interesting than just saying, well, I got, you know, Black Lotus, Ancestral, Tom Walk, 4 lightning bolts, you know, whatever. Um, and you get to play with all these cards that haven't seen the light of day in 30 years.
Do you like the price guide from January of 1996? Is that
I mean, maybe I don't know.
I just did find this website here.
You find one that's got all the old inquests.
Inquest.cityofplayers.com. Yeah, it's got them all scanned. So
Nice.
you got to make sure you. Well, that's got fourth edition, so we can even go back later. Let's go back to number 8.
I'm not sure. Like, I'm not sure what, because I think like the earlier Inquest didn't have a price guide. It wasn't until, you know, a few issues in that they actually put the price guide in there. I could be wrong, but
So the other thing I'm doing, and that's I still got to print these out, is the randoms page. So I think it's only for losers. Around like 6 losers, you get to pick one of these random. Right now, I just got the stickers in there to hold the spot. And so I'm putting different effects, and we've been kind of debating on what might be just too busted, or, but like my personal favorite is Jason's Choice. So it just says Jason picks a card from the binder and alters it, then you have to play it. So you get to pick whatever you want, and then I don't know. I mean, if you're in the mood, you could draw a dick on it, and maybe you're in the mood for flowers that day, whatever.
sure.
But yeah, I think I was gonna have like you can either like I think the best one I just want one of is just you can just pick any card in your collection and reduce its casting cost by 1, and that
Yeah.
just permanently. You just take a Sharpie and you just make Royal Assassin just cost 2 black. It's just busted,
That sounds great.
And then
I'm
I think I could have one that you add +1 power to any card.
Yeah.
or plus
Yeah.
1 defense, right? I mean, like, just
That
one
would
is
be cool.
enough, just enough to make it annoying.
Mm-hmm.
There's one
Yeah,
that's
no,
like
that's
get a dual land. I thought about giving someone an Evan Mox, so they'll be in there, but so I don't know if everyone's just gonna like instantly cash theirs in right away or what. But
well, I mean, you gotta get the wins. You gotta play the games, right?
yeah, yeah.
To get the
Well,
wins and
and
losses.
I like rewarding losing so that yeah, if your deck's sucking, you're almost excited. You're like, shit, I finally got enough losses out of this thing. I can go get something
Right.
good. And all of a
Right.
sudden now you're the guy on the top because you got the freaking Serendib that's blue one. Like, oh
Yeah, and I
shit.
mean, when you're staring at a 5-color pile that came out of a revised pack, um, even something, let's say you opened a revised starter and your booster packs, and you lean a little bit better on white, and you're pretty weak on, let's say, green, right? You don't have a whole lot of green stuff. The green cards that you do have really aren't creatures. It's just a bunch of bullshit. Well, in cases like that, even like a pikeman or something like that is still a playable upgrade because you can replace one of those green cards. It takes you a little bit further into white. It's another creature that affects the board. You can start kind of whittling away that green. So it really does make, you know, everything viable. Because there's always going to be a worst card in your deck that you would just rather have a 1/1 whatever. I'm really interested in what these top 10 hottest cards are.
Well, I mean, I was just kind of glancing at this hot take right here about strip mine.
Oh,
You can't power sync it. You can't force spike it. You can't even counterspell it. And it
it just
destroys any one land.
yeah. I mean, some things never change.
Oh yeah, the
I just like
obviously
seeing Royal Assassin in the top 10. Can you imagine nowadays? It's like what is the top 10 Magic cards ever? Royal Assassin.
all you have to do is just tap him. You can kill any creature.
So what's number one?
All right, so this is number 8. Wait, oh wait, number 9's Juzon. Let's see. It must be going down. Number
Yeah,
7 was Strip Mine. Number 6,
Mana
Mana
Drain.
Drain.
That's solid.
Yeah.
Right up there with Royal Assassin.
Oh, but
Jester's
better than Mana
Mask.
Drain is Jester's Mask. Much better. What could be
I mean,
better than
Jester's
Jester's
Mask.
Mask, you
Jester's
said?
Mask is a
Could it
busted
be
card.
Deflection? Huh?
Oh Jesus!
Deflection. Way better than Jester's Mask. Oh shit, but Fork. You can
Everybody
you can
loves
fork that
Fork.
deflection right back at him.
Yeah, people went nuts over Fork. There's Jester's Cap. Okay, that
Yeah,
was
Jester's
that
Cap
was
number 2. Drum roll for number
close some
1. Dual
lands.
lands.
Oh, okay,
All right, that's pretty decent. Yeah.
okay. So
They're
people
only
were.
about $10 a pop. They give you two mana without side effects.
Yeah.
Surprising that it didn't take number 1 sooner. Yeah. Let's see. Is there? I like this top 10. This shit's fun here. Let me. Hang on. Oh, this one here. This was like a year later. So then.
Primal Order. Okay.
Primal Order. Yeah. Yeah. Number 9
Baron
was
Sinjir. That
Baron
card is
Sinjir.
absolute garbage. I remember trying to play that card in like every deck that I owned when I was a kid, and it's like you never got to 8. He
He's
just
chucking
sat in
water
your
balloons off a
hand.
balcony. Yeah. That's what he's doing. I
It
never realized he
does.
was
It
chucking
does.
water balloons off a balcony. All right, number 8, Argothian Archaeologist. I agree with
Solid.
that. That is one of my.
Solid.
That's probably my top 8 from last year. Autumn Willow.
Autumn Willow.
That bitch does some work, man. I've dealt
Yeah.
with her before. She's tough. Yeah, agree. Well, Mana Drain's still hanging in there because I guess the fact it wasn't restricted back then. 4 Mana Drain in a deck was good. Jester's Mask hanging in there.
Still holding in.
Still holding in. Fork dropped to 4th. Oh. Oh, deflection point to third with dual lands in second place.
So what got first?
What the hell could be number one? You say
Oh
Jester's
my
Cap.
god. Dude,
What's
that card was
this?
so hyped when it came out.
Yeah, well, that's probably. Let's see what the price of that bad boy is.
I'm gonna say like $30.
I bet it's 40. Let's see here.
There it is.
Jester's Cap, $30.
Oh.
Damn, you're good.
Oh.
Jester's Mask, 20.
Jester's Mask. Which Jester's Mask? I remember going through some bulk
I
or
couldn't
something.
tell you what the
looking
hell
at-
Jester's Mask does.
It's busted, dude.
What?
It really is. You get to like sack it and then basically go through your opponent's library and give them a new hand.
All right, sacrifice Jester's Mask to look through your opponent's hand and library. Give that player a new hand of as many cards as they had before. Oh, that's pretty cool.
It's busted.
Huh.
It's like, oh, you got all these cool cards in your hand. Well, now you just got a grip full of lands.
Yeah, I was gonna say you give them like either 6 lands, or you take all the lands out and give them like, here's your 4 Shivens and your your
Right.
Oh yeah, dang.
It's just it costs like 1,000,000 mana, I think.
Cost 5 and one
Yeah.
to activate it. $1,000,000. Dude, that was a bargain. No wonder it's a hot take.
Yeah. But anyway, it's cool card. But yeah,
$30.
I think
Could've been.
yeah, I think we can use the Inquest price guide. We could try it out anyway, see how it works.
I think it's
And,
fun.
Yeah. It'll be good. Man, I wish alpha cards were still this cheap.
You could have got 2 alpha copy artifacts for 1 Jester's Cap.
I wonder, so let's see something. So Ancestral Recall Alpha 125, Beta is it more expensive?
No, it's less. It's still
okay.
$90, so it was less still.
Because I remember people would say,
Yeah, they didn't like because the round corners.
Yeah, they didn't like them because the round corners, but I never really knew if that was really
Look at
reflected
this
in the
misprint.
pricing.
Beta cards have rounded corners and are black bordered. Alpha cards have rounded corners when compared to a beta card.
I guess they had to say round corners because there was the collector's edition.
Cards are white bordered and unlimited, but otherwise identical to beta cards. Huh. Rounded corners. Yeah, I don't see. They don't even. Collector's edition isn't even in the guide. Not even. An
Oh,
option.
really?
Nah, that was just a dumb thing. Something was just a throwaway. Got a set of Arabian Nights for $800.
I remember
Booster box for 4,200. That was a good deal.
I remember when I was a kid, I always wanted a Juzum Jin, but I never could afford it. Because even then, he was like, $100 or something.
I wanted a Beta Black Lotus for $400, and my wife had a fit. Still remember. Pissed me off. I think that's probably when I sold my collection because she just was not having it. And yeah, they were $250 back then. They were up to $400. I'm like, this is a good deal. No, you ain't spending $400 freaking dollars on a damn piece of cardboard. And all right, you're right. What do I know? I'm an idiot.
So,
all right, well, I'll save 8. Inquest 8, so we'll work off of. That's the oldest one that's got everything.
sounds good. Inquest 8.
All right, anything else? So yeah, I think in the booster packs, I'm going to try to throw basics in those so you can get more, because we need a way to get basics.
Yep.
If you think of it, bring some Thursday.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll bring a bunch.
I didn't have. You said you have a shitload of them, so I don't have that many actually.
Yeah, I got 7 anti decks. They seem to consume all my basics. Yeah, I've got a full 2-row of just old bordered basics. For some reason,
I did put basics in the card shop or the prize wall or whatever you want to call it. So
cool.
If you need some of those, you're going to start working towards a monocolor deck. You can cash in your points for those. Yep. And then I continue to, as I dig through
all this bulk. I'm picking out all the revised and Fallen Empires cards, that kind of thing. So, I'd like to see us. Nobody. We're going to be giving away these cards or whatever. I'd like to see at the end people turn them back in so that we can keep it going.
That's what we did last time, and
Yeah.
like Patrick's bringing his stuff from last time, and I'm using a bunch of the ones that are double stamped.
Yeah.
Eric had a concept of if it's got one of the original stamps on it, it's soul bound. You can never trade it.
Ooh.
I kind of like that. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So if it's got the big ass ugly stamp from 2 years ago that's soul bound and it's untradeable.
Yeah, I kind of like that. That's pretty cool.
It's kind of
so
cool.
Who knows? I think
we got to document all this shit in the next 2 days, so we got to.
I know there's so many like rules and ideas that we're coming up with. I feel like at some point we've got to just say
we just got to stop and
we're going to document them. This is what we're doing. We got to stop. If you got any ideas,
but they're Magic players. They're going to find every angle, every question, every corner case, and these are the friends we choose, man.
I know. People are going to be bitching. They're going to be like, this booster pack sucks. And I'm going to start twitching. Oh. There's some poor sucker. I was looking at the starter deck list. There's it's probably going to be me. It's like the rares are like a Thought Lace, a Blessing, and a something else. I can't remember. But
Thought Lace, Farmstead, and Blessing, eh?
But I mean, like Blessing's good.
Blessing's
you put a Blessing on a Spec Sprites.
I hate to bring this up. Was one of the decks needed a copy artifact?
Yeah.
Did you fill that spot?
You filled that spot.
I filled that spot? I'm a man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I forgot I did that. Good on me. Okay. No, I've got 4 copy artifacts. I'm like, oh man, I thought I had 5 for some reason. I should have given him 1, but I'm like, all right, yeah, I got 4. That's cool.
Yeah, no, you contributed the copy artifact and the fork, and I threw in the demonic tutor and a
couple balances.
Yeah, some other stuff.
I threw in some soul rings, thinking they were more than that. I found some beat the shit soul rings for $5. They weren't bad.
Yeah. Soul ring being an uncommon, it doesn't seem like you don't really have just a ton of soul rings laying around. So those are
speak for yourself, but yeah, no.
Yeah, so we probably need some more of those. But anyway, I would like to
strip mines kind of side. I feel like I don't know. There's not a ton of lands, honestly, in this whole thing that we're that worried about it.
No.
So strip mine isn't quite as powerful.
And strip mine's one of those things that we should probably, if we want to introduce it, we want to introduce it later, because having
that was kind of my question on these. That's why I pulled up the new Ebon Power cards we're working on here.
Yeah, because I think that especially with strip mines. So when everybody's playing starter decks, you don't want a card that can destroy a land.
Because, that's pretty rough. You're right. Yeah, because that really ruins your day when you're already strapped for mana. And
yeah, but later on, as everybody's starting to go from 5 colors maybe to 3 colors, 2 colors, that kind of thing, then strip mine isn't near as bad. You can throw it in there. I don't know if you would really want to, because strip mine's good against libraries and dual lands and all that. I don't know how much of that stuff's going to be running around.
Apparently there are no libraries at all, so I don't even have proxy ones to throw in there.
Yeah, so I don't think we'll miss strip mine too much.
I think we get the art put together though for the Ebon Power for the most part. So we got the Ebon Time Walk.
I like it.
As an additional cost to cast Ebon Time, add Ebon Time to your ante, take an extra turn. We got the
Ebon Time, I love it.
Ebon Ancestors. So yeah, same thing. You as an additional cost to cast Ebon Ancestors, add it to your ante.
I like that I like that it's like a conquistador.
Again, we just threw this in Photoshop and said use this as a reference image,
Yeah.
and it just like jams us out, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm just imagining like the conquistador looking at like all of the dead um Aztec people from all of their diseases and blankets and just like, oh no.
I was gonna do this Eben time, but I don't know. I guess it's not. Maybe it's
I have no problem.
for the visual team that's watching it. Yeah. I actually bought the art off Mitch for this. So he's supposed to be sending it to me.
You actually bought that? That's
I
super.
bought it. Yeah.
That is super cool. Are
And
you
he
gonna
said
put it?
he said he wants to like sell it as a print run. I'm like, do I care? I'm like, that makes it way cooler because I own the original. Like, sell the
Yeah.
hell out of it because I'm the guy that has the original and people know what it is. So.
So the question is, are you gonna put that art in your office, or are you gonna put that art at your business?
Now I'll just put it here probably.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
kind of slowly building this man cave type deal
Mm-hmm.
around here. Um, he's going to sign some. So MG Alters that I'm going to send him some. He'll sign them. So I'll probably get the art next to the frame, like a framed signed version of it. But
That's cool.
he wants number one. He said 69 we can fight over. So whatever. And then we get I thought we got the Eben, the Blue Mox figured out too. That was kind of a
Yeah,
round and round. I mean,
I saw a couple different pictures of it, but I wasn't real sure what we settled on.
yeah. So at one point we had the Sarah Titties version.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I feel like I've seen that done.
Oh,
That's the
really?
only problem. I don't know. I feel like someone did that, and it's a white card on a blue. And then I tried. Let's see. I'm gonna keep sharing all these different screens. I feel like I'm at work. Then I was trying to throw him on like a personal carnage. Again, a white card, so not as good. And then I think we settled on this here. I think this is pretty badass. So this is cool. This has it's basically the conch horn that it's kind of based after.
Mm-hmm.
It's a blue card. It is very blue, and it's got a hot chick with a good ass, and I mean it checks all the boxes. I think.
Yeah, I like that one.
So I'm thinking this will be 2 months out or something like that. We can introduce these in some packs, or you know, add them to the prize wall or something like that. Like, hey, if you guys want these, here you go. Somehow I freaking lost all the green, the Ebon Emerald or whatever. I don't know where they're at. Or maybe we're out of them. I don't know. It could be. But I don't have any of those. I was trying to throw some in that prize wall area, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm out. So,
I think I've got. I mean, I've got my original playset that I had. You know, if we want to throw a couple of those in there, that's fine.
and then Eric did bring up the ultimate question, the Ebon Lotus. What do we do with that?
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, I think it's probably just it's a Lotus, but you add it to the ante. I mean, is that probably the simplest? Just cost 0, sack it for 3, add it to your ante.
That's the simplest.
I mean, I know your idea of like giving the opponent, they just keep using it over and over, and then they like hang on to it and sack it to ATOG and just collect them. I don't know. It gets crazy, but I'm thinking maybe we just freaking it's a Lotus, but you just like the power, you just add it to your ante, and did it win you the game or not? You know?
Yeah,
I don't know. I think
whatever. I don't care one way or the other. I think adding it to ante is just fine.
I was looking at our cards from 2021. So get the Ebon Tutor, you ante one additional card, then you also add this card to your ante.
That card was busted.
Search your deck for a card. this card can be played from your sideboard. Yes. So just whatever you just feel like I really freaking need, whatever it is, like to win, I could just crack it right now. No one played this.
I
And
did. I hoarded that shit until the
yeah.
very end.
Yeah, you and then also the Ebon Ancestry.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have
I
to add the
hoarded.
additional card, then you add this card to your ante, draw 3 cards, can be played from your sideboard. You also hung on there. Whoever had that hung on to the very end. It never got played. The entire season, each card was cast once.
Yep. I hung on to them until the very end, and I still fucking lost. So it didn't matter.
That's the point. That's why.
Yeah. Because I remember because my deck was busted because I built like a blue-black millstone deck with just a million things, a million counter spells, bunch of removal, and I had a bunch of millstones. And everybody's playing with 40-card decks, so it was like super good. And then when it moved to 60-card decks, my deck got significantly worse.
So the only thing, yes, that was, I was gonna say the Ebon Ancestors. Should it be a sorcery? That's the only thing I haven't heard anyone complain or deny. The only thing is, I mean, if it was a true instant, it'd just play like everything else. Because I feel like people are going to forget that it's a sorcery and try to crack it as an instant, and maybe it should just be an instant and be done with it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel
doesn't matter that much, I guess, if it's a sorcery.
I guess I kind of feel like it's like we didn't change anything else.
Right.
We
That's
didn't change
kind of
any
where
other
I'm at
cards.
too, yeah.
So we might as well just leave it as an instant.
We should call it an interrupt, which no one's ever done. Like, wow, how do I even play this? Like, how you have to interrupt someone.
Yeah, so I think that yeah, I mean, if you've already lined it out as a sorcery, just leave it. I don't think it really matters all that much. There we go.
It's gonna be an instant. That's how we do it right here.
So, yeah, I mean, I think that makes more sense. I'm sure that there's some world because, like, if we could find a parallel between. So, the reason why I had that idea for the Black Lotus was because, right, all of our Moxes follow that cycle from Fallen Empires.
Yeah.
And then the Black Lotus would be following Rainbow Veil, where it goes back and forth.
I got you.
So that's why I originally thought that the Black Lotus should go back and forth, because that kind of ties into Rainbow Veil. But I never really could draw any parallel.
All right, what about this?
Time Walk and Ancestral, how we could tie that to Fallen Empires somehow.
What if we compromise and you sack the Lotus, it goes to your opponent's graveyard? You know it's gone. There's no winning it. It's not an ante, it's gone. It's your opponent now owns it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think. So
I would like to get all these printed at one shot, so we just have them.
Right.
Here's the rollout. We're freaking going all in on.
Right. So, like, if we could think of some way to tie Ancestral, Time Walk, and Twister to a Fallen Empires card and give it kind of an ability, then I would say
no, they're done. I'm done with Photoshop. Those are finished. We've got the art. Yeah, they're finished. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but
the last alteration we're gonna do is we made that an instant. We're done. I'm just click save. Yes, save that. Yeah, we're done. All right, no, moving on.
Yeah, so I
don't
can't
have time in my life here, but
yeah, so like I can't really think of anything to tie those 3 cards to Fallen Empires, which makes me think, well, then I don't really care if the Black Lotus is tied directly to Rainbow Veil. So, fuck it. Put it up for ante or put it into your opponent's graveyard. I don't really care.
I mean, the opponent's graveyard is pretty. Oh god, that sucks. Do you really want to do that? Just crack it? Because sometimes Lotus is like your 20th card pull, and you're just like, yeah, I could get my
Yeah.
3 mana. Like, am I really going to give it to my opponent at this point? Like, no.
Right. Right.
All right, we'll continue to debate this offline, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else on
I'm just gonna say,
Ultra League Magic
I'll just throw it
31?
out there. I'll just throw it out there for the Lotus. My vote is it goes back and forth like Rainbow Veil. You guys do
Okay.
whatever you want to do. I don't care. So anyway, what were you saying?
I think all right. So that's the unknown. Anything else on the Master League here, the Magic 31 League?
I don't think so. Other than anybody that's showing up, make sure you bring sleeves.
I do have some proxies. Yeah, the duels are proxied. Yeah. There's a couple of things in the binder that are proxied or whatever. So
yeah, so just make sure you bring sleeves, and that's really I don't think there's anything else to say about it. I'm really looking forward to doing this. It's always fun because we get together, once a month, whatever it is. It's always fun to have like your get together, and we can, we'll still do events and little tournaments and things like that. But it's always fun to have just like something persistent that's happening in the background that, we can keep track of over the course of 6 months, 8 months, a year, whatever it is. And
someone did ask today about, playing games not on game night. And I think it was Eric that commented, it was like, yeah, just you can play for ante, and you can ante and you can hang out with your friend and play 700 games and switch decks all night. That's cool.
Yeah.
But they're not going to count towards your end of the year win to win the playmat or whatever.
I think that's fair, because I had thought about that before, that like, every now and then we'll hang out and play.
Yeah.
But
there'll be 2 or 3 of us or something like that. Like, when does it?
Yeah.
It's got to be more than 2 to, I guess, officially start counting towards wins and losses, right?
Right. But like there's never been a point where, me and Eric has just sat down at a random time and played a game of Magic, or me and
it's usually me, because I'm always traveling for work. Like, me and Brandon will play, me and Eric will play at lunch. Like, exactly. I could win this shit out of this thing if I could not really work too much. But yeah, if I stop working through lunches and just play it every day. So yeah, so I think you can play for ante anytime you feel like it.
Mm-hmm.
Can you play with someone's other anti-lit deck?
Yeah, just
someone else got alpha through alliances. Can you play them, and all of a sudden you got an alpha or alliances or ice age card? I think that's allowed, right?
Is it?
Why not? I mean, come on. You're like, where the fuck did you get a force of will? Like, I won that in an anti game against some maniac playing alpha through alliances versus my. I mean, that's a cool ass story if that ever happens, which it won't.
That is true. You beat somebody in a game of ante against a real ante deck, and you beat them with your 4-color pile of revised cards. I mean, I think
you stop that, right?
Yeah, I think you should be able to keep that. And the other thing is, do we trust everybody to be on the up and up with it? And if that answer is no, do we really care enough?
I trust everybody, and I don't care. So we check both of those boxes. Exactly. Someone shows up with 4 force of wills in their deck, like, that's fucking weird. Talk about that forever. I don't know. I don't care. Like, damn, you had a hell of a night at the bar, didn't you? Oh yeah, man, I wrecked that guy.
Oh yeah, man.
Okay, so good deal. Good on you. I'm still gonna kick your ass.
So fuck it. Yeah, just open it up. Who gives a shit? But yeah, I think that's really all I've got to talk about as far as the league. I'm sure as we go through it on the podcast, we'll have to talk about how it's going and what we've learned, because I'm sure we'll make some mistakes with it. But yeah, I'm just super excited to see how it pans out.
So, have you ever heard of the Viagra Boys, their music group? I
Nope.
assume you haven't. They're freaking awesome. You gotta watch just when you get done here. If I play it, I guess I get blocked on YouTube or whatever. But yeah, look up Viagra Boys Sports and just watch like the first 30 seconds of it. It's basically a guy just saying sports over and over, like on a tennis court where people are playing tennis. He doesn't even talk about it. It's so good. I don't know. I
Okay.
love yeah, today's find Viagra Boys. There's
All
quite a
right.
few good ones. Yeah, the Viagra Boys are solid, good old school punk band. Uh,
All
really into
right.
that.
Heard it here first. Okay.
You
I've
heard it
got
here first, folks. It's 5 years old. I need to do my own podcast on obscure ass music that no one listens to because that's kind of what I really enjoy in my days. But
what
hey,
was
and there's
the
a new This Old Deck just came out 15 minutes ago. 4-strip Swedish with
okay.
DFP. I love both those guys, Dave and Eric. So that's a good. I just pulled up YouTube to look at my Viagra Boys video, and sure enough, there it
First thing that
was.
popped up? All
Yeah.
right. Well, so, sounds
All
good.
right. So hey, we
Well,
did it. We did it in an hour. That's good. I'm gonna stop it here. We'll upload this, and 0.0 people from our group are gonna listen to it, and they're all gonna show up and ask all these questions. So
yeah,
just
but
be prepared.
yeah, awesome. Well,
Yeah, we'll report on it. We'll keep people posted. Maybe get some deck photos of like some of the decks or something as time goes by. But I think this is
yeah,
awesome, man. I hope
yeah.
other people do it. I mean, it's a lot of work, dude. I really
It,
appreciate you going to the effort. And I'm sure if someone wants to email us at edmondhandmtg@gmail.com, we will send you the spreadsheet of the decks we
yeah,
made. I mean, Jason did the work for 10 of them. So if you guys want it, we'll give it to you.
yeah,
Um,
100%. I've got it all
yeah.
in an Excel file. And also if anybody's got any ideas that they think would be cool, or if anybody tries this and learns anything or says, hey, this is the way we set it up, let us know. So because if we end up doing this again, it'd be cool to have some
I
more
think I think we skip
input.
a year and do it again in what year is it? 2026. That sounds like a good place to replay it.
Yeah, why not?
See what we learned from it. I did think like I wish the prize wall could be somehow like a Chandelar map, and you had to like I'm gonna fight my way over to the black one so I can get that freaking. But I couldn't figure it out, and
Yeah.
I just think of that kind of energy.
Yeah, you show up like on a Thursday and it's like, oh shit, the Red Wizard staff
Yeah,
has
the Red
18
Wizards.
power
Oh, we
cubes
gotta
in it.
all
Oh
like I
fuck.
don't know if we can figure out how to like turn Chandelar into a real world. Like everyone, like who's attacking the Red Wizard tonight?
Can you
Yeah, I don't
imagine
know.
like
This has been growing the group. We used to have 3 or 4 people show up. We're gonna have like freaking a dozen people out of nowhere just showing up.
now you've got
So
me thinking. I was talking to a guy at work. So this is the last thing. I was
yeah,
talking
yeah.
to a guy at work today, and he's kind of a new guy at work, and I was asking him like, so what do you do in your spare time? And he was telling me he said he was into geolocating or
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
geolocate.
Geocaching. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
awesome.
geocaching, that's
I
what it
love
is.
geocaching. Yeah.
And I was like, what is that? And he was explaining it to me. And then you just said recreating Chandelar. So now now my brain is working on some kind of like geocaching thing where a bunch of nerds are like hiking through the forest and they end up going to the location. And it's just like me standing there with a deck. Like, you got to beat me or else
Gotta beat me. That would be
the
so
Green
good,
Wizard's going
man.
to win.
Yeah.
So,
A little bit on geocaching. It is super fun if you guys. It's so I don't know. The app doesn't cost much. You go to these places. I don't know. It was way cooler back in the day, but like me and Eric went to this one. We crawled in an underground pipe for like a half mile, and we got to the bottom, and there was like a ladder that went to the road, and underneath there was like the thing you had to get. And Eric's like, I gotta take a leak, and he's like, this is the weirdest place I've ever peed. I'm like, dude, I don't know the weirdest place I've ever peed, but I know where Eric's weirdest place was. We were like a mile underground in this weird ass tunnel. And I had a lot of great experiences with geocaching. And so like I'd made this super weird sword from like World of Warcraft back in the day. So I'm like, what the fuck do I do? I went out in the woods and made a geocache out of it, like hid the thing, like all these people like holding it and stuff. It was pretty cool. I made a really
Yeah.
complicated one that you had to like pull a rope and then pulling all this stuff. And on the bottom was a note from the sheriff's office that said, "You need to close this because people are illegally parking to get here." I'm like, oh damn! Like, all right, never mind, my bad.
Oh, yeah, he was
But
explaining it to me, and like the first thing that I
it's
was
good.
thinking was, man, this would be awesome to like, because I got a 6-year-old and a 13-year-old, and
It's so
the
good with
six
kids. Yeah, you
the
just go out
6-year-old
there.
is just down for everything,
Yeah,
and the
and
13-year-old never wants to leave a room. So maybe this would get him like
the idea is
out.
you go there, you find the thing. It's usually like a Tupperware container, and it's full of worthless bullshit. You take something out and you leave something there.
Yeah,
I don't always leave magic cards and take a bracelet or a, McDonald's toy or whatever. But
yeah,
yeah, it's fun, dude. I love geocaching. It's pretty cool.
yeah.
I've found more cool stuff. I've gone on business trips. I haven't done it in a long time, but I go on a business trip and like, do you guys know that there's like a natural occurring underground spring? Going to like you can see the water just bubbling out of the spring. It didn't come from anywhere. It just came from the under the ground. It was really cool. Like, where is this? I'm like, it's about 2 miles from here. Like, no one that worked in the entire place even knew it existed. But it was
Yeah.
pretty cool. I used to do that way more, and it was fun, man. I'm a big fan of geocache.
Yeah, well, this guy was all about it, and he showed me the app, so I went ahead and downloaded the app, and yeah,
Take your
I'm gonna
kids,
try
dude.
it
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Yeah,
I remember I took my parents, and we were in Amish country, and we're just like, we're everywhere, and we're just sitting there on a bench, and we're like, I guess it's not here. And I reach under the bench, and they had screwed the lid to the Tupperware container to the bottom of the bench. He like popped it off, and like, they're like, no freaking way. I'm like, yeah, it's right here in the middle of everybody, right in this Amish furniture store. And so stuff like that was I love it. Whenever I get a
yeah,
chance, I'm a fan. But I mean, sometimes the problem I have with it now is a lot of times they're just not there anymore. They've gotten old, or people can't find them. But trying to
mhm,
find the harder shit, the 3, 4, 5 star stuff, yeah, it's kind of cool. Those are the good ones where you can like
right.
scale a cliff and risk your life and all that. Yeah, I'm into those. So.
Yeah, he was telling me like I guess that app that he had, so like you can click on it, and then people can leave like notes,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they
they
don't like leave the notes to say like
they leave
it's
hints or
underneath
whatever.
the
Yeah.
bench. Yeah, but you can look at the notes, and like if there's recent notes on there, then you know that it's probably still there. And if there's like no
Right, right,
note,
yeah,
or the
exactly.
last
Yeah,
note
find
was from
something that's
like,
got some recent activity.
yeah, yeah.
Someone found it. Yeah, I found geocaches in like 16 states or something like that. So,
So yeah, I think I'm gonna try it. I might see if the kids want to go. Like I might see if there's anything close to us, because we're kind of right here on the outskirts of like no man's land. Um, so we might take a little trip and see if we can't find some bullshit this weekend or something. Seems like fun.
it is fun. It's a good
Yeah.
time.
So anyway, all right. Stay tuned. Geocaching podcast coming up next.
Geocaching coming up. Yeah, yeah. No,
So
that's no. I recommend that to a lot of people, man. It's good ass time. That's why I find shit because I'm always like so sick of the tourist attractions. I'm like, all right, what's a good geocache? And you're like, all right, here we go. Check this out.
yeah.
So yeah, it was good.
All right. Cool. Well,
All right. Well, updates to come, and we'll keep you posted. And my guess is Jason wins again. I don't know.
we'll
Well,
see.
I guess Eric won the last one though, so I don't know.
Yeah.
We need a phenomenal trophy though, so we don't forget. Whoa, lost you there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so and
Yeah.
yeah, we're at the point now. We've got welders in this shop and shit, so we'll make something legit for the winter this year.
Yeah.
This time.
Yeah. I know that so like I last thing again, So we did we were doing like little sealed leagues of like newer sets over COVID. So just me and like Cody and a couple friends of mine, they'd come over to my house and we'd do like sealed event. I think you came over and did one with us. And we had Cody's wife has this like thing that can make slap bracelets. And so she made slap bracelets as like the championship thing. And so it was like a slap bracelet, and she had like engraved, or she had put on there like what set it was, and had a bunch of like magic colors and stuff like that. And we just slap them on there. That was pretty sweet. So we might be able to sweet talk Cody's wife into making us some slap bracelets.
Slap bracelets. That's very appropriate for as stupid as this is. Yes, last thing again. So we had a pool party at my house for the basketball team, and my wife introduces me. The wives are like, "Oh yeah, you'll like my husband. He's a nerd." I'm like, "Really? What kind of nerd are you?" And so I start talking to him, and yeah, he's a collector, and he collects Back to the Future toys and stuff. And I'm like, "You want to see my office? I'm trying to put a tree in there right now." He's like, "Yeah, dude, I want to see this." And I go in there and I show him, like, "You play Magic?" He's like, "Man, I haven't played since high school." I'm like, "Well, hey, here's what we do." And next thing you know, I think he's coming Thursday. He's excited. He's like, I think I still have my cards. So I'm dying to see what this dude has, because he's between you're my age. He's got a decent age child. I'm like, yeah, bring your old cards.
Yeah.
And we'll just add them to the prize wall, maybe.
Yeah.
So we'll see if he shows up. But it's the perfect event to like recruit new old school players.
Yep.
Let's not get the word out there, but yeah, you can give a little crack. You can get a small like dime bag or whatever on the street for free. It'll repay for years. We'll be kicking their ass, and like 2 years from now, it'll just be like, eat my stasis deck. Yeah.
Well, I think it says a lot that, we'll have these events, and everybody will, on a good night. I think the last time we had 7, 8 people, something like that. But most of the time, there's been plenty of times where it's been like me, you, and Brandon, right?
Yeah, I know. It's been a little dry there for a while. It
gets kind of dry, but we got like 10 excited fucking people ready to come to this thing.
We got 16, but 6 of them can't make it because of something important or whatever. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. So like there's this thing seems to have awoken something in everyone. They want to participate in it.
That's why I say it's a business plan, dude. You need to just figure out how to make 100 of these things and figure it out.
Yeah. So anyway, it's I think it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be frustrating, and that's gonna add to the fun. And we'll see what happens. But all right, man.
All right, man. Appreciate you hopping on here, and we'll see you Thursday.
All right. See you in a couple days, brother.
All right. See you.